An area that you probably haven't thought of when you've asked yourself the question, how do I improve my fertility, is blood sugar. Blood sugar, or glucose, is your body's main source of energy. So when you eat carbohydrates like pasta, bread, rice, fruit, or vegetables, they're broken down into glucose, which then enters the bloodstream. When your body senses that glucose in your bloodstream, it releases a hormone called insulin, which will help to get that glucose into your cells where it's used for energy. Ideally, your body's really good at this and everything goes smoothly, but over time, when we have too many carbs, too much sugar, we don't eat a balanced diet, we have repeated spikes and crashes in our blood sugar, which can lead to insulin resistance and problems down the road. One of these problems is that it can negatively impact your fertility. Insulin resistance can cause imbalances and decreases in your testosterone levels, as well as reduce sperm production. Those glucose spikes that I talked about will cause oxidative stress in your body and DNA damage in sperm. Imbalanced blood sugar will cause your sperm to age prematurely and also give issues with your mitochondria, which is basically the energy source for your sperm. So they quite literally cannot have as much energy to move towards an egg. Now, when it comes to balancing your blood sugar to make sure that none of this stuff happens, it's very simple and straightforward. Number one, you're gonna make sure to have a good balance of protein, fat, and carbohydrates at every single meal. You can see the downloadable resource below this video to see what your plate should be looking like. Generally, you wanna aim for at least 30 to 40 grams of protein per meal, which is usually about the size of your hand. You wanna have a quarter of your plate being carbohydrates and half of your plate being vegetables. And then when it comes to your healthy fats, you're usually cooking in olive oil, butter, coconut oil, or something equivalent. The second thing is that you're not skipping meals and you are eating enough throughout the day. So you should be hungry for a meal every 4 to 6 hours. Say you have breakfast, 4 to 6 hours later, you should have lunch. 4 to 6 hours later, you should have dinner. If you're going longer than about 6 hours, you might need a snack in between. But if you need to eat a meal in less than 3 or 4 hours after your previous meal, then usually you're not eating enough or your blood sugar's imbalanced, so there's work that can be done. Number 3 is getting some light movement after you eat. So whether that's going on a walk around the block, putting away your dishes, doing some laundry or chores around the house, anything is great because it helps to balance that blood sugar, get your glucose where it needs to go. Number 4 is that you're not eating carbs or sugar on an empty stomach. Notice that I didn't say you're never eating carbs or sugar, but you always want to pair things like dessert or sweets after you've eaten a meal. So we have this saying, avoid naked carbs, because you don't want to be eating carbs and sugar on their own. Always pair them after a meal, or at the very least with some fat and or protein. The last thing is paying attention to your sleep and stress management, because we have terrible blood sugar regulation when we're not getting enough sleep or when we're overstressed. So you can refer to the sleep and stress videos in this resource library to get more tips on both of those things.